Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Urban Dunya. I'm Tim Blythe, this time coming to you from Hiroshima in Japan. Hiroshima is a medium-sized Japanese city, and although it was fairly significant beforehand, it gained infamy on the 6th of August 1945.
That was the date on which the United States military dropped the world's first atomic bomb to be used in warfare. In this video, I'll be showing you around Hiroshima, a city which is dominated by its past. The atomic bomb dome, once the Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall, stands just to the north of the city center and is the most famous remnant of the day the city was destroyed. This was the nearest building to the center of the explosion, the hypercenter, which was still standing in some form. When the bomb exploded, the walls instantly burnt away, and all of the people inside were vaporized. Their skin and bones boiled off in an instant. Steel girders inside the concrete walls survived, but those which were exposed began to melt. What remains of the building are the elements whose boiling point was higher than that of the temperature of the blast. Nearby, visitors and locals fold paper cranes, an origami artwork which has become a symbol of survival after the bomb. At night, the building is floodlit and is an eerie reminder of what took place. Contrary to popular belief, the bomb did not explode directly above the exhibition hall. In fact, it detonated 600 meters above a nearby hospital, which was totally flattened. Across the river from Hiroshima's city center lies the Peace Memorial Park. In the center of the park is the main memorial to the day that the world changed. A flame burns for world peace, to be extinguished only when the world is rid of nuclear weapons. Immediately to the south of the memorial is the Peace Memorial Museum. This is where you will find the most shocking remnants of the explosion. Images of the mushroom cloud. A recreation of a building minutes after the explosion. A pocket watch stopped at the exact moment of detonation. A model of Hiroshima and the buildings that survived the blast. The actual steps of the Hiroshima post office, where a man was sitting and waiting for the office to open. All that remains of him is the shadow that he cast when the bomb exploded. A schoolgirl's uniform. Locks of a child's hair. The footprint of a schoolgirl who was burnt to death but whose sandal survived. The skin and fingernails of a schoolboy who survived the explosion but died the next day from his injuries. A few hours after the bomb exploded, black rain began to fall from the mushroom cloud. This window frame from an outlying district of Hiroshima still bears the deadly radioactive raindrops. Back outside, the Children's Peace Monument pays tribute to the children who suffered as a result of the bombing. A Japanese legend states that if a person folds 1,000 origami paper cranes, his or her wish will come true. This is the basis for the story of Sadako, a schoolgirl who survived the explosion but a few years later was diagnosed with terminal leukemia. She began a quest to fold 1,000 paper cranes, and her wish was to be that the world would be rid of nuclear weapons. Some of the actual cranes she folded are displayed in the museum. Different versions of Sadako's story exist, whether she completed the 1,000 or passed away before achieving the goal. Today, school children from across Japan visit the Peace Monument to contribute their cranes to the collection. Elsewhere in the park is the cenotaph to the Korean victims who were in Hiroshima at the time of the atomic bombing. The reflective National Peace Memorial Hall. and the mound for the ashen remains of the thousands of victims who were never identified. Despite the tragedy of the past, Hiroshima has bounced back and is today a modern industrial city with a thriving art scene. While Hiroshima is synonymous throughout much of the world with the atomic bombing, in Japan it is also a major business hub. Despite its past, modern Hiroshima is not defined simply by the bombing. It is safe to say, however, that for everything else that modern Hiroshima represents, the most enduring legacy is the one from 1945. A memory of terror and despair, but a message of hope and solidarity. While I was in Hiroshima, I stayed at the Sheraton Grand Hiroshima, right next to the railway station.
And that's all from Urban Dunia for this time. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and tune in again next time.